Are we live? Are we recording? Look at this. Posing in the car. With that face. What's up, guys? Just got done with arms and shoulders that I've been working every single day. I'm lying, it's not every single day. It's usually 4 to 5 times a week. So the last time that I did it was actually on Friday. Nipple slip. Nipples can go on YouTube, it's cool. So I wanted to talk to you guys about the meat and the bones of this particular video today. As the title implies, and it's a little harsh, so I am warning for anybody watching this that doesn't like language, I'm going to be using some. So as the title implies, I feel like people should really man the fuck up. And here's what I mean by that. And I did a Facebook kind of live stream about this a little while ago. Let's get those headlights put away there. I did a stream about this, but I wanted to cover it more in depth. And I just feel like these days in society, we have a bunch of people running around that feel entitled, that feel that they should get whatever they want. They shouldn't have to work for it. They want everything now. And, you know, they can't take responsibility. And nobody seems to be able to have adult conversations anymore. And when I say nobody, I mean, yes, obviously there are some people that still have good communication skills and whatnot. But I'm talking about the majority of people that I seem to run into. So case number one is having respect for other people's goddamn time. I had recently... I had a consultation scheduled for 11:30 in the morning last Thursday, I believe. Confirmed this appointment with the person multiple times, including at 10:30 that morning. I said, hey, are we still good for 11:30 this morning at location? Yes. So, 11:30 rolls around. I said I'd be waiting at the front desk. I was waiting at the front desk. 11:45 rolls around. 12 o'clock rolls around. So I send another message to the person. Hey, looks like we missed our appointment. I was respectful about it because I didn't want to say, hey, looks like you didn't show up. So I attempted to be as respectful as possible because I do understand that things happen. And I said, would you like to talk about, would you like to discuss rescheduling? I was with my kid, or I was dealing with my kid. Saturday works better. That was the reply back I got. Not, and you know what? Okay, so, like I said, I do understand that things do happen. But, if roles were reversed and something had come up with my child, my immediate response would have been, regardless of whether or not I could have told the person as whatever was happening, my immediate, gotta get my hangers out of the way here, my immediate idea would have been to say something along the lines of, hey, I'm really sorry that I missed our appointment, I apologize for, you know, or something along the lines of, I apologize for not being able to stick with our, you know, commit to the time, or I know your time is valuable, I apologize that I missed the appointment. Just a basic assumption that I was completely available whenever she was. And that I was there. Now, some people don't know how personal trainers work. I do not get paid to sit around the gym. But at the same time, it's just common courtesy. It's common, you know, respect to just make sure, you know, that you respect people's time and that you understand people's time is valuable. So that was one of the most recent cases of just blatant disrespect and entitled behavior that I've recently come across. Another thing is I'm coaching my daughter's softball team. These parents don't want to show up. What the fuck? You signed your kid up to do an activity, but you won't show up to practice and you won't show up to the games. What? If you don't have time, or you didn't want to do it, don't fucking sign your kid up for something. I couldn't even really accomplish a practice last Wednesday because we had 3 girls, one of which was mine. So 2 other parents could be bothered to show up. Again, no common respect, common courtesy for showing up. Only one of those parents that didn't show up even bothered to let me know that they weren't going to be there. And so that, that really pissed me off. It's like if you, and this isn't hurting them, it's hurting the girls. It's affecting them, And it does seem like a lot of these parents are only there to get their social media pictures, their Instagrams and their Facebooks, and to get that participation trophy at the end of the year. It's like they're not even there to work on their kids' teamwork and respect and work ethic. They're just there to get those pictures. One of the women, in fact, during the games, spent her entire time directing us as to where to place her daughter, it was her niece, so that she could get the best view on her her phone camera. What the fuck? Put the damn phone down and watch and encourage your child play. Jesus, that's just ridiculous, So yeah, just there doesn't seem to be a lot of common courtesy and respect for other people's time these days. Let's talk about entitlement a little bit. People seem to be really entitled these days and feel like they can just get whatever they want without having to work for it. Case in point is I see a lot of people with kids who don't do chores anymore. And I'm like, what the fuck? When I was a kid, starting at like age 5, my sister and I had a chore list. And one was, it had to do with vacuuming the house and keeping the kitchen clean, and one was for the bathroom. And every other day, we had one of those tasks. So one day I would do the bathroom, she would do the vacuuming and kitchen, and the next day we would swap, and we just did that every other day. We never had a day off. There was no such thing as, oh, you get Saturday off from chores. No. We always had to do our chores. And we earned our allowance that way. And we didn't even get a cash allowance. It was if my parents felt we had worked hard enough, they would consider buying us something within the value of what they felt we had done. And I'm just like, now these kids don't even have to do chores, and they're getting these fucking, like, I know people who give their kids $20 fucking at age 8 for an allowance. What the hell? What the hell does an 8-year-old need $20 for? And don't argue with me about inflation. That's ridiculous. So we just feel entitled. Nobody feels like they have to work. I've had to work for everything. I've never just been handed anything in my life. Now, I have gotten assistance. I have gotten help. But I still had to put in the work and the effort, either to get that help or in order to utilize that help. I'll give you an example. My parents did help pay for some of my college. That was very nice of them. As a trade-off, I sure did have to do most of the yard work, landscaping, chores in the house, stuff like that, while I was living with them. I had to work at the same time, and I was working roughly 32, sometimes 40 hours a week, depending on the week, in a retail situation. And then I had school, and I was taking one class over a full load for most of my time in school. And so it's like, I was given help, and giving help to people is absolutely okay, but this entitled, I didn't ask for the money, it was just something they came to me with, and I did work for it. I did help, I did everything that I could, or at least in my mind, that I tried to help out around the house and take care of things and make things easier for them because they were providing me with something. It wasn't like, oh, hey, thanks for all this free fucking money, have a nice day. So it just seems to me absolutely ridiculous that, people feel entitled. Oh, well, my parents have to pay for my college. Fuck, no, they don't. And if you have parents that feel that they have to, that they're busting their ass because they feel they have to pay for your school, or whatever it is, you should be doing everything you possibly can to earn that from them. And you know what? The last point I'm going to make on this little rant today for this vlog episode is, people in society are, it seems like, as a general rule, very passive-aggressive these days because we have social media, because we have Facebook, because we have all these mediums in which we can talk about our feelings and things going on. It's like we don't even have to have direct conversations with people anymore. I'll give you an example, and I brought this up. there was a situation. I'm not gonna go into detail. There was a situation recently between some people that I knew, where some posts were made on Facebook instead of the two people talking about the problem that had occurred, and how that one person felt that they had been wronged by the other. Okay, why can't you just go up to the person? First of all, I don't want to know about your fucking problems with other people. Keep that off Facebook. Facebook is for, in my mind, Facebook is for keeping in touch with people that don't live by me and posting just kind of cool things that are going on. Fuck your drama. I don't want to talk about your drama. I don't want to see your drama. Keep your drama to yourself. So, you know, this person, what would have been wrong was just talking to that person, going to that person saying, hey, here's my issue with whatever interaction we had. Can't we just work it out? Now, maybe that person felt that the other person was unapproachable, and that's where it's your responsibility. Say somebody has an issue with you. Okay? That's going to happen from time to time. Nobody's perfect. You're not going to just impress everybody all the time. People are going to have issues with you. If somebody has an issue with you, it's your responsibility to handle it like an adult. So if somebody does have the courage, which I say courage, it shouldn't even be courage, but these days it seems like it does take a bit of courage. If somebody has the courage to come up to you and say, hey, this is my problem with you, what can we do to work on this? It is your responsibility to not freak out on the person. It is your responsibility to make sure that you are calm and say, okay, I hear you. Respect their opinions. Now, I'm not saying that everybody has to get along. There's definitely situations that have happened in my life where I didn't get along with the person. I was never going to get along with the person. But those people I was still cordial to. I still said, you know, I've been in work situations where one particular person absolutely hated my guts. I was still quite nice to them in the morning. Hey, good morning. How are you doing today? You know, I didn't seek them out for conversation purposes. We never talked during meetings. We never, you know, but if there was something work-related that came up, I attempted to be as respectful as possible. So, it's our job as adults, that's right, guys, we're adults, to be able to have open communication with other people. So I just feel like that's something that we should all strive to get better at. Instead of being passive-aggressive and, you know, somebody does something to me, instead of going and telling, you know, my friend, my wife, my coworkers, and everybody about it, I need to realize that I just need to go to that person and talk to them about it. Instead of running around. And because what ends up inevitably happening is, I'm breaking stuff. What ends up inevitably happening in those situations, the story gets twisted. So by the time 4 people have heard it, it's completely out of proportion. And then people start taking sides, and it becomes this big, you know, this big issue. So, sorry, I'm looking at my phone here, taking a peek at what's going on here. So, the last thing that I wanted to relay to you guys today, and the whole point of this is the other portion of the title. You know, man the fuck up, but also be yourself. And this is one that I've really, really struggled with over the years, and I think I'm finally getting a solid grasp on it after 26 years on this planet. I think I'm finally getting a solid grasp on what this means to me. So, you guys can see, I've got the beard. I've got the longer hair on top, that's coming apart here. I've got the lip ring, I've got the size 2 gauges here. Let's see if I can get that to focus. I've also got the second piercing there. And, you know, that's just kind of my personality. And I shouldn't have to explain this to everybody, but I feel like people always ask, well, why do you feel the need to have all those things? You know, I've also got the tattoos. I've got 13 tattoos, actually, across my whole body. 5 on the upper portion and 8 on the lower portion. So people always ask, why do you feel the need to mark yourself up like that? You know, it's how I feel of expressing my personality. It has nothing to do with being a badass or being the bad boy or anything like that. For me, because I have so many health issues, a lot of my day-to-day activity, what I'm capable of doing and things, are outside of my controls a lot of the time. I won't even say some of the time, it's a lot of the time. I just bit a rock. So, because of that, I feel the need to express myself in a way that I can control. I absolutely can control what I put on my skin. I absolutely can control what my piercings look like. I absolutely can control the hairstyle. So it has nothing to do with being crazy. Not that I think this is a 1920s haircut, for God's sakes. This is how people used to wear their hair back in the 20s. Men wore it in the 20s. Shaved on the side, long on the top. A lot of people wore it parted. Some people just wore it straight back. A lot of people had this little dangly thing. It happens. So it's an expression of, it's something inside of my control. It's not me trying to be all crazy or insane or the rebel or whatever, and it's never been what it's about. So it's just a way for me to express myself, and it's just something that I enjoy. And so I find that people tend to judge, especially medical professionals for whatever reason, tend to judge you based on your look, which is 2016. Why the fuck are we still doing this, people? We have evolved as humans enough to know that that's not okay. So my point being is, there's a time and a place to be yourself. With that being said, I don't think you should ever have to sacrifice who you are or what you are. Like, I will never in my life again take a job that requires me to take my lip ring and my piercing out. In fact, when I just got hired over at the place that I'm currently working, I told them that the reason that I felt comfortable coming over there is because they didn't display anything that my previous employers did as far as my appearance, and that they didn't mention it or bring it up. And it almost came up, and I did say, because of that, I said, hey, if this does come up, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to work here because of that. I will not take a job, and that's just something that I've put my foot down at this point in my life about. It's just ridiculous. My job is in no way affected by my haircut, my lip rings, my piercings, anything like that. My job, I am good at my job because I've put in the work, the time, and the effort to become good at it. And this has absolutely nothing to do with my job. And people, it could be argued, well, some clientele may not like that. Well, fuck them. I don't want you as my client if you are that type of person that is judgmental about someone's appearance. Because that's just really narrow-minded thinking at this point. So, with that being said, however, there is a time and a place. I do tend to have a bit of a crazy, outgoing, in-your-face personality sometimes, and it has taken me a very long time to control that and know when that's okay to kind of just go full bore ahead, who that's okay with, and when I need to dial that back. And what I finally figured out after 26 years, and I don't feel now that I have figured this out that it should have taken me this long to figure it out, but what I have come to the conclusion is that the time to dial it back is when you are offending someone. And what I mean by that is, if my language is offensive to somebody, why should I be offensive? Why would I want to be offensive to somebody? So if me saying the word fuck offends people, maybe that's not, in that certain situation or that social situation or that work situation, that's not an appropriate time to use that. Now, I'm using it here in my channel because this is my channel, and if you don't particularly care for that language, then this really isn't the channel for you, and that's okay. I'm not saying, screw you, I don't want you on my channel, everybody's welcome to watch. But at the same time, people that aren't interested in mystery movies, they much prefer action movies. You shouldn't force them to watch, something that they don't like. So this may not just be the channel for you, and that's fine. So just know that it's okay to be you in any way that makes you you. Just understand that when you are out in the world, we need to be mindful and respectful of other people's feelings. And so if there's a situation where you are offending somebody, then you need to either figure out how to not offend them, because nobody, no matter what type of person or how you feel about a person, nobody should be purposely offended. And so your job, your responsibility as an adult is to figure out, okay, how do I not offend them while not affecting who I am as a person? Or how am I going to remove myself from the situation? Because those are your two options. You can either figure out, for me, for instance, I have a job that permits me to have this. That was my solution. So I'm no longer going to put myself in a situation where that would necessarily offend my coworkers or my bosses. And with clientele that find it offensive, I just won't be working with them because it's not a good fit. I'm not going to force myself upon somebody. So just know that there's a time and a place for you to be you, and you need to go through life making sure that you're not offending somebody when you don't need to, because there's really no reason. We should all be able to at least have some level of respect for each other, even if we don't like each other. And I don't particularly care for closed-minded people that don't like this, but that's why I choose not to associate or be around them. But that doesn't mean, given any situation where I am around them, that I wouldn't be cordial or respectful towards them at the same time. Back to my story of, I'm never going to snub somebody because I don't agree with their view on my appearance or my language or my personality. So that's the serious nuts and bolts of this video. I know I kind of went on there for a while, but it was really important for me to kind of get that message across for you guys.